everyone, it's Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Now today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet these 4 by 4 inch little washcloths. They're the perfect little washcloth for washing your face, and because they're made out of 100% cotton, you can toss them in the washer and the dryer with your towels and they wash up wonderfully. They're wonderful to give in sets of 2 or 3 or 4, and you can see I have 3 here, and I'm going to make a 4th one so I can give it as a set in a set of 4. Now this is a free crochet pattern on my blog, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make these little washcloths, you're going to need 100% cotton yarn. And there are lots of different kinds of cottons that you can use. Now these are just your basic cottons that are called peaches and cream, sugar and cream, but any cotton will work. You can use, I love this cotton from Hobby Lobby. Red Heart has a wonderful scrubby cotton that will work just fine. Any cotton, and I really prefer 100% cotton for this project. There are some yarns that are medium number 4, and that is what we're using, that are a blend, and if you prefer that, you can use that as well. When it comes to this sort of thing, you need to use what you prefer to wash your face with. All right, we're going to be stitching with our H hook today, and that's a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. You're going to need a needle just to weave those ends in and a pair of scissors. Now I am using 2 colors of cotton just because I'm trying to make a set that looks cute together, but you don't have to change colors. You can do it all in one. And if you do with 1 skein of your basic peaches and cream cotton, you can usually get 4 washcloths. Just a note so you know what to get. I'm going to be making a washcloth similar to this one. The beige that I'm using is just a little bit lighter, and I'm going to be doing the body of the washcloth in the beige and then trim it with this blue that is the same as this one. So I've got both my colors here ready to go. We're going to begin with a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 13 chains. And I do recommend that you chain these first 13 chains just a little bit loose. We don't want one side of our washcloth to be puckered up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So you should have 13 chains. We're going to begin by placing a single crochet and the second chain from the hook. We don't count the loop that's on our hook, so there's our first chain. We'll go in our second chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through both loops. Now we're going to place a double crochet in the next chain. So yarn over, go in the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over, and go through the last 2 loops. And so what we're going to be doing, moving across our chain, is we're going to be alternating single crochet, double crochet, single double, all the way across. So our next stitch is a single. Our next stitch is a double. The next stitch is a single. And then the next is a double. Single, double, single, double, single, and we end with a double. We're going to go ahead and chain 1. And so we have 12 stitches, and we ended on a double crochet, chain 1. We're going to turn our work, and what we're going to do for row 2 is we're again going to alternate doubles and singles, and what we're going to do is, because we started with a double crochet, our chain 1 does not count as a stitch. We're going to put a single in that double crochet. The next stitch is a single, so we're going to put a double crochet in the single crochet. And so we're alternating single double again, and we're making sure that our single crochets are stitched in double crochets and our double crochets are stitched in singles. All right, so single, double, single, double, single, double, single, double, single, and ending on a double crochet. And again, chain 1. And so basically row 2 was like row 1. And you can see how it makes that nice texture stitch. So again, we have 12 stitches. Let me turn this over so you can see. We started putting a single in the double and then alternated single double all the way across, ending with a double crochet again and then chain 1. So row 3 is going to be exactly like row 2. Our chain 1 does not count as a stitch. The first stitch here is a double crochet, so we're going to stitch a single crochet in that double crochet. Then we'll stitch a double crochet in the single crochet, and then we'll continue that across. Single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, and again ending on a double crochet and chain 1. So for row 3 we again have a double crochet, single crochet alternating all the way across. We have 12 stitches, chain 1. So now what we're going to do for the next 9 rows is to repeat row 2. Chain 1, turn, starting with the single crochet, double crochet, alternate all the way across, chain 1, turn, and you'll continue this for 9 more rows. I've completed those 9 additional rows, and when you're stitching this particular stitch, you can lose count of your rows because they're not lined up because of how we're alternating the single and the double crochet. And so what I do is we were repeating 9 more rows, right? So I made 9 lines, and then as I completed that row, I just made a little cross across it to tell me I've done that row, so I crossed it off. Just something that works for me that you might want to try. It's very easy to lose count of your rows in this particular pattern. All right, so my last row, I'm not going to chain 1. I'm going to go ahead and cut my main color off and bring in my trim color. All right, so here is my trim color. And now I'm going to do a chain 1. So how we're going to stitch the trim is we're just going to stitch evenly down the side. We're going to place 2 single crochets in the corner, across the bottom, 2 single crochets in the corner, evenly single crochet back up the side, 2 single crochets in the corner, and then of course across the top and join back in to our first single crochet. So what I do as I begin, we're going to work down this side here where we're going to need to evenly single crochet in the ends of the stitches. So we're going to begin, and you'll notice that I am stitching over my tails of yarn, and I'm going to do that for a couple of stitches, and it just helps with weaving them in. And something that I try to do when I'm evenly single crocheting down a side where I don't have stitches to stitch in, we're going to just try to stitch in the sides of those stitches, and you have to eyeball it, look at it, make sure you're not putting them too close together and not too far apart. All right, I'm going to move those tails of yarn out of the way. I think I've attached them well enough where I can weave them in without too much trouble. It's just something that I do to help with weaving in. All right, so I'm going to continue to work down the side. I'm going to try my best to keep my stitches even and stitch those stitches in the sides of the stitches. Now there might be a portion where you're going to have to stick it in a hole, and that happens. Just try your best not to have to do that. Sometimes rather than fighting the yarn, you can go in the hole next to it. You just have to try to see how you can make it as neat and tidy the best way you know how. All right, so we're coming up to the corner here. And again, there is no set amount of stitches on the sides where we're just working that in. We just want it to make even, to make it look pretty, and to lay nicely. All right, so I'm going to move that tail of yarn out of the way. This is our corner stitch, and we're going to place 2 single crochets in that corner. And now we're going to move across the bottom. And across the bottom, this is where we began. This is our beginning chain, and that's why I said don't make it too tight, because you don't want the end of your washcloth to pucker up. All right, so I'm just going to work my stitches in those chains. There we go. For some reason, this particular yarn wants to jump off my crochet hook. There we go. This brings us to the next corner. Some more yarn out here. All right, we're going to put a second single crochet in that corner. And now we're going to work up the side like we did on the other side. Just evenly stitching, trying to go in stitches and not holes, but like right there, I went in a hole. Sometimes you have to. All right, so I'm going to work up this side over here the way I worked down this one until I get up to this corner. So I've worked up this side. I'm at this corner. I'm going to place a second single crochet in that corner, and now I'm just going to single crochet across. And of course this is easier because we have stitches where we did our row there to work in. And I'm just working across those 12 stitches on the top. And this brings us back to our corner, and we're going to put one right in that same corner where we started, 1 single crochet. We're going to slip stitch in that stitch. Let me do my slip stitch here. There we go. And I'm going to put my hook to the back and pull that to the back of the washcloth. And of course I need to weave my ends in, but this, let me hide my ends so you can see, and this is the way your washcloth will look. Now, what do we do if we want this washcloth to be bigger? Well, you can adjust it very easily. 3 of the beginning chains measure about 1 inch. So if you want to add more, you're going to need to add in increments of 2 because we did single crochet, double crochet across. But make sure that you understand that 3 chains equal an inch. Okay, now if you want to make it longer, you can do that as well. And you can do that because 2 rows equal about an inch. So you can make it wider and you can make it longer, and that'll make your washcloth bigger if you want to use this pattern to make a bigger washcloth. I tidied up my washcloth, weaving in all my ends, and so now I have a set of 4 washcloths that are in beiges and blues to give as a gift. It makes a nice gift, and remember, they're easy to adjust to bigger sizes.